when I started doing this, the question you kept getting is, yo, BrandMan Sean, how do you blow up? How do I blow up? How do I blow up? Right now, it's like, bro, I got the following. I got 28,000. I got 200,000 on TikTok. 300,000, 500,000. How do I monetize these people?
I don't need nothing else. Every time I'm with you, yo, it's something else. It's a fact, and it's nothing else. Got your hand out, you don't even need help. Oh, I don't need nothing else. Every time I'm with you, yo, it's something else. It's a fact, and it's nothing else. Got your hand out, you don't even need help. Oh, that's right. I don't need nothing else. That's right.
King's Dream Entertainment.
Intellectual property is one of the most valuable and transferable things that there are. Particularly when we're talking about any new platform that comes, any new medium that comes. It's why the music industry still has a stronghold and the core infrastructure is still surviving. Why? Not because they really adapted to the new models quickly, right? Not because all artists just want to sign to labels still. It's because they have the core intellectual property of the music, right? That's, as all these distributions and all these things start to fade away or just become a lot easier to do at scale and more accessible, the last thing is, oh, but who owns this, right? Good. Like, and that's the intellectual property. Like Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince, because I can't use my name anymore. Right? Steve Harvey he doesn't have the Steve Harvey show or whatever his talk show was now, but because he got off of whatever channel that was, now he's on Facebook. So it had to be like Steve TV, right? Because they had the name, that intellectual property of that name and all the content associated with it. So that goes back to, again, like, if artists, they should think of themselves as superheroes, characters. That's good. My album can be transferred, the titles can be transferred, the aesthetics can be transferred, my name can be transferred. All of that stuff is something that can make money.
Love it. So the homie Truther just asked an interesting question. He said, when you rock that merch, how do you approach getting people to pre-order? I'm struggling to get people to pre-order. I have a very basic answer for this.
I want to hear it.
I'm curious about yours. He's struggling. So he's rocking the merch. He's slowly testing it, right? And Truther, hopefully you're dropping multiple pieces. Like, you're not just married to one. Before I did the Outlier joint, I had like 10 other designs. God's Dream, King's Dream, right? I could try, just nothing would click. And then as soon as I worked this one, like, my pastor was like, I want one. This, like, people with good taste started asking me for one. So, and that's important. Taste is important.
Taste is very
Dame
important.
Dash said you can't buy taste.
No, you can't.
So
can't.
He's having trouble getting people to pre-order it. How does he mitigate that?
All right, so I'm assuming these are people who have expressed interest. Is that where we're going from?
Probably people who follow him already. I think he has a couple hundred, a couple thousand followers.
Okay. Well, one, you have to test designs.
Yes.
And people might just not actually like it.
People might not like it. That's good.
Two, you need to figure out some way to create some kind of scarcity, urgency. There's a lot of times and a lot of things that people say they want to do and they actually do want to do, but we procrastinate the hell out of things. So we need to be nudged. And I mean, those are the two primary things that I can think of off top. Yeah,
I'm gonna be real basic, Truther. Get the merch dope. How do you know the merch is dope? People start asking for the merch. You know what I'm saying? People gotta ask, like, what you wearing? Like, da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? That's when you know you got a piece. One, and then two, man, I don't know if you ever done this, bro. My first introduction to entrepreneurship was selling prepaid legal. You know what I'm saying? Multi-level marketing.
Nah, man.
So, I make a list. When it's time to do a local show, I make a list. I'm trying to sell 300 tickets. I'm trying to sell 400 tickets. I make a list of every single person I know with influence, every single person I know that will buy some even if they can't attend. And I literally pick up the phone and call every single person. Now, the catch to that is in the same way with multi-level marketing. If the product is trash, you're dead in the water. Because your friends and family, they'll support you once. They may support you twice, but if you put on a show, speaking for example for a show, and they come out and the show is trash, you're trash, the crowd is trash, the sound system is trash, they're not coming back the second, third, fourth, fifth time.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I've been able to successfully sell 500, 600 tickets in San Diego, hard tickets, because half of those are people that buy tickets online, they're fans or whatever, but the other half is like, hey, cousin, I'm gonna need you to buy 4 of these things. They're $20 a pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just very direct. And so I think before people ever jump out the window and go get an investor, we break down the math, right? What do you need? You need $10,000. Well, $10,000, that's 400 hoodies. Do you have 400 people in your network? Most of these guys are believers, so they go to churches with 5, 6, 7, 800 people that would probably just buy them on like, yo, the Brother Truther got a new CD out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna support my brother, right? So I think that's one of the perks of being a Christian artist is like, if you're actually a Christian, you hopefully are plugged into a church. That's a huge, and this almost sounds like I'm finessing the Christian audience, but like, yo, when it's time to move, like we form like Voltron, like, yo, we doing this show at the House of Blues. We can't be out here looking crazy. I need y'all to buy some tickets. And with, bro, every time I probably personally sell about 200 to 300 tickets, like myself. So that, you know, goes back to the whole like, oh, should you pay to play? It's like, bro, I pay to play all the time. You know what I'm saying? I pay to play out my own headlining shows. So I think I say you got to go way more grassroots. I'm talking and don't make it about the piece of merch. Don't make it about the show. Make it about them partnering with you. But make sure that thing is quality, because if it ain't quality, they're not buying the second and the third one. If they buy the first one and it's fire and it's one of their favorite pieces and they love the color, the texture, they will come back and buy the third, fourth, fifth one. They'll tell their friends about it. Everybody will love it. But if you put something together and it's janky, it's not going to end well for you, man.
It's such a simple concept.
Simple concept, but hard, because you know what it is there's a degree of and I'm not saying you're prideful, Truther, but there's a degree of ego attached to asking. I don't want to ask people, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times that network you have initially will be the people to give you the resources, the visibility to get up to that next tier of visibility, or at least that's been the case in my life.
Well, not even just that though. I'm even talking about that core concept of everybody gets so caught up in marketing these days and how to convince people forget about just having great product. That part. Yeah.
Shout out to I think Tips. Tips said he just started a podcast. Is that what you're saying? Shout out to Tips for the daggone super chat. Okay, so check it out. We got an artist in here. I just interviewed him actually. So Nick D, cinematographer, amazing cinematographer, amazing rapper, singer.
Dope.
Last year started with January 2019, started with 1,000 followers. Leveraged his talent as a cinematographer. Dropped a song and a video every other week.
Okay.
For 24, 26 weeks, all of 2019, grew his Instagram from 1,000 to about 28, 29,000. And is now doing his own merch and all that kind of stuff. So he said, most artists on the come up don't associate making it with making a living off of music. They associate it with the following count. Touch on realistic ways to monetize the following you have, unless you touched on that already. And then Truther said, yeah, I had to humble myself to cash out. Need tips starting a podcast. Oh, you need tips on how to start a podcast. My fault. Okay, cool. We're gonna come back to you in a sec, bro. Let's dive into this. So again, dude. When I started doing this, sure when you started doing this, you were joking. Like the question you kept getting is, yo, BrandMan Sean, how do you blow up? How do I blow up? How do I blow up? Right now it's like, bro, I got the following. I got 28,000. I got 200,000 on TikTok. 300,000, 500,000. How do I monetize these people? You know what I mean? And so, Nick, BrandMan Sean just talked a little bit about like creating these intimate, private online experiences for people, collaborating on different merch items. What were some of the other things you mentioned? You mentioned like 3 different types outside of just Spotify. Can you recap some of that?
All right, so yeah, I'll start with, yes, there's the project sales or music sales. Then you have private experiences, right? Now I'm forgetting. Also just some kind of partnership, leveraging your audience.
Yes.
And whether you're an affiliate, but even more so, you have the leverage to just profit share, right?
Yeah.
Me and you pair up, bam, 50-50.
Yep.
Right? What am I missing something?
No, that's good. I think that was it. I think you talked about merch, you talked about collaborations, and you talked about like intimate, one-on-one, like online experiences.
There we go.
You know, where we're leveraging technology. Yeah, like Nick, I would be curious to see you do a live online concert because he's fire. You know what I'm saying? So what if you did some type of like, yo, I'm doing an online show with a live band, and we're limiting it to 100 seats.
Yep.
And you guys get to tell me the set list. You guys piece together the set list.
Interact, all kind of stuff goes down, man.
Yeah.
Like it could get so interesting. I wish sometimes that I was like an artist and could do you can really get crazy with it, man.
Yeah.
And experiment with it, do it on a small scale.
Yep.
Get a lot of feedback. Hey guys, would you like to do this again?
Yeah.
Right? You can do it once a month.
Yep.
Like so now you have reoccurring revenue.
Like a live tiny desk. There you go.
A live tiny desk. That's it. That's an option, right? There's a website, I forgot what it's called, where there's a lot of DJs that just stream their parties, like, and people can tap in, tune in, just like Twitch. It's like Twitch for DJs doing live sets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you could do it on YouTube, Nick, because you already have a YouTube audience. You can do two things on YouTube. You could do an unlisted live stream and create a way for them to buy a ticket, send them a link to an unlisted YouTube stream. I think you could make it private and literally give them email addresses, like get their email address, send them the private through the YouTube thing. I believe you can do it through Zoom. Like you can do, there's a Zoom package that's $40 a month that becomes more like a webinar. I don't know if you've seen this. It's $40 a month, and it's literally, instead of just having a big video Zoom call, people can call in when they want to. You can bring people into the chat one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I saw Busy Works Beats and what's his name? The guy that used to manage Taylor Swift. They did that. So they had a Zoom call with like 300 people in a Zoom call, but then it was just them talking face to face, and then people could come in one by one. They select the question and that kind of stuff. So there's a couple different ways to use it. What is a private streaming platform too? Okay, he asked that already. Yeah, so YouTube, I think YouTube would be great. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the first one only gets 20 people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it only gets 10, but those 10 people feel like you just got to kick it with them. You know, again, we're just throwing out ideas, right? Like there's multiple ways to monetize. I think Nick, I think all in all, bro, I think you're onto all the right stuff. Me and Nick are working on music together. Nick has his merch already dropped. He has not the Superphone, but one of the competitors to the Superphone. So he's doing a lot of the right stuff. Honestly, for you, Nick, it's just patience, bro. Like, it's just patience. Even though you grew really fast in a year, there's just going to be some degree of patience where people buy into you. You know what I mean? And it takes a little longer.
She say I'm a triple, honey, welcome to Trivago. Tell me who you know, who is you tripping for a follow? Ball in the air like Showtime at the Apollo. Puffing up your chest, the next thing you know is hollow. But well, hello, I've been swinging like some jello. If God wanted a fun guy, he get some portobello. So I guess I need some grease up on my elbow. Yeah, but now my light turned yellow. And I've been looking for a cheat code. Life don't come in a neat bowl, bringing the receipt home.